So guys, you've been asked to do an analysis table for The Telltale Heart by Edgar Allan Poe. So I've got the text here and I've already gone through it. I've highlighted things, I've highlighted important parts, symbols, literary devices, characterization. I've highlighted a bunch of stuff. Now I'm going to look for literary devices or really interesting word choice that have strong connotations or make me really think or feel something. So I heard all the things in heaven, all things in hell. Okay, metaphor there. My blood ran cold, I like that. Oh, I like this repetition, cautiously, oh so cautiously. They do it again, louder, oh so louder. A watch's minute hand moves more quickly than mine, that's hyperbole, I quite like that. Deepening with its dreadful echo, the terrors that distracted me, there's some alliteration there. Stalked with his black shadow before him and enveloped the victim, okay, I like that. Oh, I like this one. I knew that sound too well. It was the beating of the old man's heart. It increased my fury as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier into courage. I'm going to copy and paste that, and I'm going to use this quote. So, that's the quote I'm going to use. But next, I need to think what context I need. Obviously, on its own, to someone who's never read the story, if I just put the story says, my fury as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier in the battle, that doesn't make sense. So I need to ask myself who, what, when, where, why. Now, it's the narrator. That's the person who's speaking. Obviously, it's the first person narration, so we can hear their thoughts. The what, he hears the elderly man's heart. He's the tenant, the person who rents his room, where he hears his beating heart as he's stalking him. Why is he stalking him? He's obsessed with him and he wants to murder him. When? At night. And this is just before he murders him. So now I need to write a summary of what's happening. So that's my summary. The narrator of the story becomes obsessed with the elderly tenant and plans to murder him. As he silently breaks into the old man's room and watches him at night, he hears the old man's heartbeat, which eventually inspires him to kill the old man. Now, where can I put the quote into my summary? Remember, to embed is to blend your words and the author's words together. So you have this summary of the context that's needed for people to understand. But where can I put these red words? Well, I'm going to put them at the end because that makes sense now. That's a sentence that makes sense. As he silently breaks into the old man's room and watches him at night, he hears the old man's heartbeat, which eventually inspires his fury as the beating of a drum stimulates the soldier into courage. That makes sense. It's grammatically correct. Then I need to do my level 1 analysis. Well, what words immediately jump out? Remember, I'm only analysing the red. What words immediately jump out and make the reader think something or feel something? Do any words or phrases remind the reader of anything? What device is used? And what does it make the reader think or feel? Well, it's a simile. The narrator's use of a simile comparing the old man's beating heart to a war drum makes the evil act almost seem courageous to the reader, as if the narrator is going into battle. The word courage has positive connotations despite this act being so evil. So I've said it's a simile. I've said what it means. It's inspiring him to kill this person, and I've said that it makes the evil act seem courageous because it reminds us of like going into battle. And the word courage actually has positive connotations. Next, I need to think, what does the quote plus what I've said in level 1, so this and this, what does that reveal about either the whole setting, the whole character, the whole tone, or the whole plot? Now, obviously, as this quote is the thought of the character, and this is all about the character's act and how he uses this simile, I am going to talk about what this and this reveal about the whole character. Well, it reveals the narrator to be a narcissist, someone who's like self-obsessed and thinks they're amazing, and also a deranged or crazy person. They're not only to commit such a crime, but they feel as if they're acting brave and heroic doing so. So I've characterized the whole character based on this and this. That's level 2. I could have talked about the plot, I could have talked about the tone. Next, I need to move on to level 3. How does the quote, plus what I've said in level 1 and 2, develop a theme? What connections can I make to the historical context, or the genre or movement, or the author himself or herself? And what connections can I make to other texts? So I'm looking at 1 and 2, level 1 and 2, what I've said, and I'm looking at the quote, what theme is developed? Well, I found the theme that sanity, this idea of being sane and not mentally ill, is very fragile. So I think it develops that theme. I guess as well it also connects to the literary movement of American Romanticism and Gothic Romanticism. So I said this develops the theme that sanity is a fragile thing. It also makes the Telltale Heart an example of American Gothic movement, which often featured internal conflicts and insanity. There you go. Bish, bash, bosh, done. Let me know if you have any questions.